horsey. Hi. How are you? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see from that last little bit, I spent last weekend up north at my parents' cottage. And for all of you wondering, it's a place called Lost Lake Woods Club. It's in the northeast portion of the Lower Peninsula of Michigan. And it's like a little hidden gem. It's an old hunt club. It's got golf course. It's got a bunch of land to ride four-wheelers and dirt bikes, 5 small lakes to do fishing on. It's got fireworks, it's got horses, it's got everything that backs up to a big lake called Hubbard Lake that you can take your boat on. It's really, really cool. And so I really enjoyed spending time with my family, my kids. I love taking them up there. It's awesome. And if you're in Michigan, find a way to check it out. It's pretty cool. Anyways, I spent the entire weekend shooting with this camera right here, the Leica M8, with the Voigtlander 40mm f1.4 Nokton Classic on it. And it was a lot of fun. You guys see from the pictures, I really, really enjoy the experience of a Leica rangefinder. Just the premium build and feels awesome. The way it connects you to your eye every time because you have to keep bringing it up. You can't look through a screen. That whole experience is cool. I really like it. And to be honest with you, this combination right here, if you look at it, it's pretty small. And so I wore this over my shoulder quite a bit, and it wasn't too obtrusive. Probably a lot less obtrusive than the camera I'm filming you on, which is the Nikon Z5. But then again, not nearly as compact or as useful as a Ricoh GR or something of that nature. But nonetheless, this didn't get in the way, and it was really, really awesome. But in saying that, not everything is perfect. And I want to talk about a couple things with this combination specifically that's a bit of a problem that you can definitely work around, but might make you want to choose other options. So number one, the lens, this 40mm lens, and this is common I think with all Leicas. It's a 40mm focal length, and this camera, and I think the M9 as well as the M240 as the M10, don't quote me, they do not have 4mm focal or rangefinder. I'm drawing a total blank. 40mm. The heck is it? This camera does not bring up the 40mm frame lines. That's what I was trying to say. And instead what it does is it triggers the 50mm frame lines. Even in the Leica M8, 50mm, the crop is built in. So on this camera, 40mm is about 1.33, I think 53mm. But when it brings up to 50mm frame lines, that's like 67mm. And so when you look through this rangefinder patch, you don't actually see what you're framing. You have to guess, it's wider. Which isn't bad because if you focus in on what you want, you just know it's gonna be a little wider and it's kind of cool. I'd rather have it that way than tighter. But many people have said if you go and modify the back of the lens, you can trick it to show the 35mm frame lines and it's closer to 40, so that's the better way to go. But nonetheless, I don't like looking through this and not being able to clearly and concisely see what I'm actually framing up, what's in frame and what's not. So that bothered me a little bit. Number two, I did not shoot this with the IR cut filter. As you guys know, the Leica M8 has a defect where it's overly sensitive to IR, infrared rays, and it shows synthetic blacks as purple and greens look a little yellowish. You saw it in the pictures. I didn't edit it out. I didn't put the IR cut filter on here. And so I just shot it as is, because what I was doing is I was shooting these in black and white JPEG, which with black and whites in this are beautiful. And then I was shooting it in color raw, and all the pictures I showed you guys were in color raw that I edited in Lightroom. But nonetheless, the synthetic blacks look purple, and that can get kind of annoying. And the greens look kind of yellow. So there's a way to fix that, but not ideal. Third thing is, with this camera in particular, it's really, really slow to buffer, especially when you're shooting raw plus JPEG. You take one shot and, well, here's an example. Oh, I don't have the battery in, never mind. I can't do that. As an example though, it's about, I think 5 to 8 seconds for it to clear one shot. And so if you wanted to review like, hey, did I get it in focus or not, gotta wait a little bit, which is not a big deal. Again, if you're going for like a Leica experience, you like shooting film, you shouldn't be chimping off the back of your screen all the time, but just nonetheless, that is a bit of a problem. And then there is the actual screen itself. It looks like something off of like an Atari. And so if you really want to check critical focus, whatever, this is not the screen to do it in. You can just kind of generally tell what the picture is going to look like and did I get close to focus. And until you get it in Lightroom, you don't really know, or put it on a computer screen and zoom in, if you actually nailed this or not. What else? The battery life on the M8 is not great, especially compared to the M240. They have different batteries. I can show you guys here. This is a Leica M8 battery. If you can see this, it's pretty small. This is a Leica M240 battery, much thicker, much beefier. And the M240, when I had it, lasted a lot longer. But in saying all these negative things about this camera, I really, really enjoy shooting a Leica rangefinder, and I had a lot of fun. And I would say this lens, it seems like it's really sharp. However, I noticed that there's a lot of reviews that say it has like the real crazy swirly classic bokeh, that it's real glowy at 1.4. I didn't get a chance to run into that problem too much. And I think it does a pretty good job, especially at the price point. I love the form factor. In saying that, I've put some Voigtlander glass on here. I tried a little Zeiss glass on this. And out of this M8, I never got the same type of like overly sharp rendering as I did on my M240. And I'm not sure that's because of the CCD sensor or not, but in saying that the CCD sensor has a little different color output that I kind of like, there's trade-offs both ways. The final conclusion to this is a fantastic combination that I think is great for anybody. I mean, the lens is like $400 and you can get one of these for in good shape for $1,500 even less. And that's a really awesome way to get into the Leica system. I would probably point you towards the 35mm so that you had the frame lines to match it up, and it's a 50 equivalent. That's why I like to shoot a roughly 50 equivalent if I had to do it all over again. But in saying that, I'm not going to keep this camera or this lens. Both of these are actually up for sale right now, and the reason being is I'm constantly reducing my kit. So when this sells, I'll be down to just the Z5 and my Ricoh GR, and then my Sony ZV-1 is what I record videos on most of the time, because I think at some point I want to save up for an M10. And when I get the M10, I'm going to shoot a true 50mm piece of glass, whether it's a 50mm f2 like version 2, or if it's the Zeiss planar lens that I had I really liked. That's what I'm going for. And at this moment, I'm not ready to spend $4 to $5, $6 grand on a used like an M10 or M10P. And so that's where I'm ultimately going with Leica. So this is up for sale. Just want to kind of offload and minimize. And I will see you guys. I'm going to Cincinnati next weekend, and we'll be going to take my family to a baseball game. Probably shoot a lot of the stuff on the GR for that one. Weekend after that, I'm going to Denver. A lot of stuff on the Nikon Z5. 2 weeks after that, I'm going up to the UP of Michigan. A lot of Z5 stuff, maybe some GR stuff as well. So a lot of stuff coming up for you guys. Hope you like this new style of video, less talking on the porch. And I just want to share my thoughts on this camera. I'm kind of like sitting here as I talk to you, having second thoughts about selling it, to be honest with you. It's just a beautiful camera. But for what I want to do, I think the M10 or even an M262 would be a better fit at the end of the day. So with that, guys, appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. I'll see you next week. Peace.